How is everyone? Is everyone alright? Scott, you mean the pleasure room? No, Scott, you're just making Basel US headquarters. There we are. So I can come over and use it. tried to be smart, well, as much as I can be, and I've tried using music that's not as well known tonight. I'll still get told off for it, but it might take them longer to figure out what it is. Because I uploaded it to YouTube. You know the last one I did, the big fifth, and YouTube said, oh well, you've used music there that's blah 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 blah. We're going to monetize your post, and we'll give all the money to the artists. And I was like, oh right. So they can monetize the odd one. Scott, you've got at least, I'd say, a good 100 shells to practice. Got to find your own style, routine, blah 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 blah. Find the paints you like working with. I read a post on how Dave's tried to overcome dry tip, and so I've just put a new needle in. So when I got this very kindly donated, I went and bought a new needle just as a spare. So I've just bung the new needle in, and it seems to have solved it to a degree. The old needle, it was gumming up after, I don't know, 2 or 3 centimetres. Sorry, 30 to 40 mil. So this seems to have, well, makes it a bit more usable. I mean, this is with my Harder and Steinbach Infinity brush. The best one I find that works, I like using, is still my little Sparmax, which is the cheapest one I've got. I think a lot of it is personal preference after a while. Don't get me wrong, expensive guns are good, but I seem to have less hassle with the Sparmax. It just seems to work. Mouse back on. So how is everyone? I'm trying to see if you can see that clearly, but it's not the easiest thing to... For some reason, my Facebook screen is normally like, it's quite large, and it's absolutely tiny tonight. I don't understand why. How many coats of liquid mask you spraying, Scott? Oh, pardon me. So what are you running, Morny? Are you running 2-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive? I have been watching absolutely tons and tons of videos on crash helmet painting. That's my new obsession at the moment. So I've been trying to watch as many videos as I can on crash helmets. It's kind of what I want to try doing next. Obviously I won't be deserting anyone, but I shall be going over and trying to play with that. It's like a side hobby. Well, this is a hobby anyway. So this is a DBX 0.5 for me. So Mornay, were you like a complete natural at jumping stuff? Does it kind of remind you of touring cars? So I'm going to colour in the B of the basil and the outer circle and these stars I put in the headlights later with some of the other colours I'm going to put through the shell. I just wanted to sort of get started. Actually, that one is absolutely had it. I wonder if I've got a new hex. I have, but it's not as smooth. That's annoying. Go on, don't be an arse. Pull it out.
You see, I left my soul where it don't belong. Left my soul on the floor and it's cold as stone. Left my soul on the floor and it's cold as stone.
So this grill is a slightly bigger hex than the other side ones, so it will give it a good sense of balance. Make sure it's square. I've been trying a lot of different scales for the hexes. The bonus of a brand new hexes pattern is it sticks so much easier and it gives you a much crisper hex pattern. Hello Matt. So I will pull out the B and the oval for the B later and do it a different colour. I haven't figured out what colour yet. But this is a me shell for. I'm racing this weekend at the UK round of the Kings of Clubs. I say UK, it's always UK. The second round of the championship, which is at my home club, Eastbourne. And I've driven enough laps of Eastbourne to know what shell works. Well, have an idea anyway, for me. But I've crunched my last decent one. And then when I was at racing on Sunday, I also gave a shell away, so I haven't actually got one. I changed all sorts to my car on Sunday, and I'm just a little bit off where I think I should be. I know roughly where I am, but I'm not where I think I should be at the moment. And I'm kind of realistic. I know I'm a sort of 40-year-old male with bad eyesight and delusions of grandeur, but I should be at the sharp end of a B final. I made the A at the last King's meeting. In club meetings I do generally make the A at the back, but I just can't seem to get my pace up to where I think I should be. So I spoke to the guru master, which is Alexander, and he's given me a list of things to try that I hadn't even considered. So I've got some things to change, which is not really ideal going into a race weekend, but I'm gonna do as I'm told, because I'm assuming Alex knows what he knows about. It's very kind of him to listen to me and listen to my grumbles. Duncan, if you want to message me, we can talk. There's a lot of factors. If it said IC shell, so it needs to be fuel coated, and then there's design and post and etc. etc. But if you send me a message, we can have a chat. Especially when I annoy Alexander as much as I do. He wants rid of me. Right, we'll have a sit back for a second and actually figure out what colours I want to do on this, because I haven't thought about it. I'm not sure, Mornay. I don't know what to put on it. I have two different types of orange now. I have the wacky orange, and I've got neon flame. I know they both look red on this, and then that's red. They all look the same, but I haven't decided what I'm going to do on it yet. I'm going to sort of... I should really have planned this, but I have this now as well. Look, I have a... So I can, when I go, oh, what if I do this and this? It just, you've got your... That's your pure colour. So if you go to like blue, so you go blue, and then if you go opposite, it then gives you like split complementary colours. So it goes yellow, orange goes well with it. No, wait a minute. So blue, red and yellow goes with it. That's what it says. It's got it's a triangle. And then complementary colours are orange and yellow. Orange, yellow. You go around to like red, and its complementary colours are blue and yellow. And so it's a good way of trying to work out colour combos, and then you've got the idea of what happens when you mix certain colours with other colours, so you can get a better idea. It's like if you put yellow and red together, you get orange. Green and red, you get a very crappy sort of purple colour. So that's actually quite handy. But it gives me a sort of rough idea of what colours will work with what. So if I say do a purple rear end, which I'm thinking about doing, then it's saying I should do green and orange. I'm not going to argue with it, it says it. So there's the point, and then you've got the arrows that goes across, so it's going to that colour and that colour. So it's going orange and green. So we'll try that. I might put some leopard print in it. Well, I mean, might, I will. So now it's window frames and pinstripes. Because I've cut a ton of pinstripes into this because I wanted to practice some. I'm not particularly keen on doing chrome. I might do later, but I'm not. I was going to just do black. Having done chrome with the 8th scale, I kind of blew my nostrils out a bit. Because it's a solvent, and at 5th scale is huge. I was using a lot of solvent paint, and I absolutely buzzing off my what's-its. Which is no one's misfortune other than mine, because I'm used to just doing like maybe a little bit of pinstripe, but we're doing like a 5th scale, which is enormous. I was rocking a good old day or two after that. Obviously made the shed better than I thought, because I thought it had lots of air holes in it. I'm pleased I read that twice then, Mornay, because you just said I can't wait to hold the body, and then I was like, hang on, oh, you mean the body shell I painted him, right? Okay, where is it? I think it's stuck in transit somewhere. I don't think anything's where it's supposed to be at the moment, is it? Everyone's got this excuse of COVID, and they're sort of using it for all sorts. Like all the job losses that'll be soon, that'll be COVID's fault as well. Hello Neil. So I'm trying to work out where I'm going along with what colour pinstripe. I'm going to go black mostly. Save that. I'm going to put my hex pattern back so I can save that for later. I'm going to reuse it. Those hex patterns are probably good for 3 or 4 goes if you keep the dust off them. Any more than that, they start to lift and you get like shading underneath it, and they look rubbish after a while. So it's not worth trying to save them for too long. So I've tried to do 2 different styles on this. I've gone wiggly wiggly and then angular. So some nice sharp lines and then some really like curvy ones. Just as a good practice. I actually quite like the style though, because you've got like sharper bits at the back and then curvy bits at the front. So it kind of gives like a... Ah, Rusty, hello. I bet you can all kind of tell I haven't been live streaming very much. I just haven't had the time. I haven't really been painting that much. I did the 5th scale shell last week, and I did the raffle shell for Kings, which was a front wheel drive shell, and a batch of 3 touring cars, I think. I haven't really done a lot at all for the end of July. It's just been way too busy, and just general life stuff. And work's getting a bit tough. And walking around with, like, anyone that's had kids, you know what the first couple of weeks is like, where your eyes hurt because you're so tired. Well, if you start painting regularly like I was doing, you were in that perpetual state of like your eyeballs are stinging constantly, and I just can't function and do what I'm having to do with all my staff off on leave, or furlough, proper word. So I'm having to be an adult for a while, which sucks a little bit. just trying to work out what bits I'm going to do. There's another pinstripe going through there, which I am going to do chrome. That'll look nice. I thought if I dress up them all chrome or them all black, they'll look boring. So I'm going to do a mixture of the pair. Obviously, the solvent chrome you do last. Although I don't think it actually affects the chrome that badly if you build it up slowly. If you just chuck it on too much, of course it's going to ruin it. Thank you, Scott. So you like number 11s? See, I like 11s because I like the fact it's a point, but it's a personal thing. You've got to try them all. There's a good couple of different blades to try. Until you've tried them all, you don't really know what you like. And I'm not going to preach and say, well, you must use these ones, but you need to try all of them, really. Like me and K-Paint, we use completely different blades. He likes the ones I don't, and I like the ones he don't. Get well soon, K-Paint, because he's had a bit of a bike accident. He'll teach you to exercise. I've been trying to tighten up my pinstripes a little bit, try and make them a bit tighter, a bit more uniform. They do wander a little bit. That's generally because I'm trying to cut them really quickly and do too many at once because I'm in a rush. So I am trying to do less is more now. I had good feedback on the last raffle show I did. Because I sponsored there's a championship started in the UK here, which is anyone who knows the UK knows the M25 and the personal hell that is of a motorway. Anyway, the circuits around loosely around the M25 all got together and put a little championship together. I mean, yeah, there's some other tracks we could have gone to, but those are the four that started talking to each other and sorted it out. And I offered a body shell for each round for the raffle. I think I was the first person to offer, actually. And then they've got proper firms doing it. But now I've got people messaging me like every so often going, oh, would you sponsor blah 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 blah. I'm like, look, I'm losing roughly £100 a race meeting doing this. But I offered to do this. Right, what's Neil saying? Hang on, so you thought of me when you were listening to the dance music? That's odd. Was I dressed? Well, gloves I mean. yeah, it's got good tweezers and a good knife, and you'll get the nice sharp points. And some rubber gloves you need next, if you can get hold of any in a global pandemic. That will give you get rid of all the fingerprints. And just make sure you clean your shells before you start. Well, I'm not saying what dance music it is tonight, just in case anyone's listening it gets me into trouble. I don't actually know what it is actually, it just sounds alright, so I thought I'd leave it. I have very odd tastes, I know. But if we were all the same, it would be a very boring place. Very boring, very boring. Right. Let's do the black pinstripe and the window frames. Well, that's going to take about 3 weeks of that peel side. Aaron's doing all sorts of pitboards, isn't he? Sent me a really good one, Ferrari one. I could have sworn it was stickers, and he went, no, it's paint. I was like, wow, I need to practice. Now obviously you do the darkest colours first, so we're doing the black pinstripe first before we start to build up any other colour. Oh, 4 shells, that should take you what, 2 nights? I've got a box here of, from one customer, of 8 shells, buggies, a Renault 5 Turbo, and some a mini Woody Clubman's. No, it's a Woodman's Estate. Then I've got a pair of 200mm and 190mm, and then I've got a 8 scale wedge thing. But I don't want any more work at the moment. I'm actually quite liking this not having a big build up of stress. There's enough stress going on in proper work. Don't need it in paint time. And as I said, I want to start tinkering with crash helmets soon, so I don't really want to have a massive log of shells to do and then feel like I've got to do them. That's not the thing. It's supposed to be fun. So you've got 8 shells ready to go between 2 drivers. So what's that? 4 heats in the final. So what's that? Probably 3 weeks worth of shells? Paint time, you're right, Scott. Paint time is relaxing time. It's like you can pick up a craft knife and just start cutting a body shell out and then just forget all the stresses and stripes and bits that give you grief and ag. I find it very therapeutic. I just don't like the stress of someone going, "Hi mate, have you finished my shells yet? You only sent me them last week." Right, so that's about right, I think. So that one there is going to be chrome. We're going to do that one there chrome as well. I'll do that one black as well. It's too much chrome. Always have a craft knife handy because you always find the odd one where you missed them when you're peeling out, or more than one by the looks of it. Aaron, that's exactly what I did. I started asking people, oh, could you give me a body show and I'll paint it for you. I won't charge you, I'll just paint it. And then you then start, oh, how about you sort of buy me some paint and I'll do it for you. And you just sort of build up a paint collection from people giving you job fiver here and fiver there. You need a logo though, that's the thing, isn't it? It's really annoying. I had a bit that's just folded over on itself, so it's lost its stick. There, got it. Blimey, that was tight. Yeah, Scott, if you just ask someone to hand you a shell, to pass you a shell, and just cover cost of buying the shell, and ask them what colours they want, and then just ask ever so often for like, can you give me some money for that colour paint? Thank you, Aaron. Right, so I'm going to do, because I did it a couple of weeks ago and I really liked it. I'm going to do a purple rear section. I might do some leopard print, and then I don't know. That'll probably be enough anyway. I haven't really thought about how this is going to look. Colour wise, that is. Aaron, you can paint me one then if you can do them for a tenner a go. Yeah, this one's for me. Yeah, I am joking. Yeah, this one is for me. This is where I do my practicing. So I want to try a couple of different things out on this. So I'm going to go a bit, what's the word, over the top. But I don't really, doesn't bother me. If someone stops on Sunday and goes, cool, bloody hell, then I know I've done it right. Yeah, it's a very nice setup board. I was going to try doing them, but I don't think I'll bother now. You should be very proud of that. It was a very nice job. So this section I've now cleared is going to be purple. I've got to figure out how far up the shell this is going to come. That can't be purple because that's got that bit there. I could do that bit into that, and then that comes into the... Ah, there we go. So that brings that into that. Remember now, I can't do any shading because I've done black pinstripe, and if I do shading it does look like I've done really bad pinstripes. So you've got to be a bit careful now how I do that, so I might do them in like stars. Would be one way of getting around it. Yes, I'm loving the stars at the moment. I bought from RDT Race Products. It's not Race Products, is it? It's RTD. It's basically Rich Paint. Guy has such a weird name. He calls himself Rich Paint and then he does RT. Is it RDT Products? And he sells his own, well, his own stars. So I bought some. And I'm enjoying playing with them at the moment. And then that's a direct leftovers of what I'm using, because I'm using the main bit to do the stars with, and that leaves me the stars over, and I'm like, that'll fit in a headlight. So I did. It does. So there. So then I'm going to do purple onto the, as I call this the bonnet crown. So you see the design flows the front bonnet, the bonnet through the roof and then through to the boot. Aaron, could you round the corners? Scott, do you mean the fronty shell I did the other night? Because I did that. It did look alright, I guess. So I'm going to use iridescent purple as the main colour, and I'm going to do some stars in black, and I'm going to do some blue for shading in the purple, because I use the iridescent purple to shade the blue, so I'm now going to try it the other way round. So let's do some stars. Have I got some cut out? So I've got different size hex patterns here, which I've basically, it's the same size. I just stretch it and move it about on my cutter. And then there's my little pack of stars at the moment, which has still got enough tack to be useful. Anything bigger than that becomes a massive pain in the arse to keep sticking down. I must admit, I haven't taken your setup board to a meeting yet. I don't want to scratch it. So it's like Sunday best at the moment. I've had some very generous things given to me from painting, and that's one of the ones I cherish. Because I've had a couple of people, oh hi mate, we're going to send you this for you to try, and then can you talk nicely about it? Oh yeah, okay, fair enough, get your hopes up. Nothing turns up. That's 2 or 3 times that's happened. And they spend ages talking with you, being your best friend, and then when it comes to actually sending the bloody thing, they never do. And it's a bit disappointing. And then the absolute opposite is people on here that I've been helping who haven't got an angle are sending me stuff as a thank you, and that means a lot more. Obviously I don't need to have a ton of different patterns going on in this because I'm going to stick some leopard print in it. And now I've got a little bit of overspray from where I was spraying onto the hexes. So all I do is a bit of tissue. It doesn't really matter because it's going to be a dark colour anyway. It would be more important if it was a a light colour. It's my cheeky way of giving me a bit of a shade. Because it's so fresh, it's soft and you can sort of rub it away. Where I can't count and I don't have enough stars on one side or the other. Right, so now a bit of detail shading. So you're going to use Spar Max 3, which I just used for the rear brake lights, so it's still got red in it. That'll take a couple of seconds to get out. So a bit of cleaner, Basil Brush Flush, which I must admit hasn't been as success as I thought it would be. I did actually go and buy some the other day, so I can't say it's been the most successful thing I've done. I mean, I bought some reducer, straight cleaner. It still seems to clean the brush better than anything else I've got. There's a lot of effort and it doesn't really seem to have done much of it. It's good for cleaning for bogging the brush through, but it's not really any good for getting it like. So a little bit of blue. So turn the PSI down. Right, so pearl blue doesn't shade very well. So this is the case of just sort of being careful with it. I don't know why, but the pearl colours don't seem to shade very nicely. So that's my very technical way of getting rid of ghost farts. Yeah, it's a bit of trial and error. I mean, I've got it to work, but it's not as good as the stuff you can buy. I'm just being honest. I'm not going to start telling everyone to go and make their own because I haven't had the best of results with it. What I have done is I've distilled some of my homebrew into the reducer I've got, so hopefully it'll last longer. So a general clean with the colour reducer. And then a wiggle about a bit again, finger over the end, get it bubbling up nicely, and then into a spit cup. People have these really nice ways of spraying out the overspray and stuff. I'm like, no, I've got a spit cap, just chuck it in that. No, it's just a general run-of-the-mill pearl blue, but it's an absolute bugger to shade with. But it's what I want to use because I want it to be a bit bejazzling. That's really not a technical term. So now iridescent purple. All I want is a darker rear section to the car before I then put this mad leopard print on it. Now you don't want to go too heavy with this because you're going to build it up with some chrome behind it. Otherwise the blue won't show. You'll see later in the photos. Gives you a really cool shimmers. If you go too thick with the purple, it will lose the blue. That's really cool. It's got this sort of half and half. The hairdryer is just a little bit hotter than the old one, so it's kind of cracked it a little bit, so I've got to go a bit gentler with the heat next time. What it does is it gives you this cool marbling effect where it's dried so hard. So then there's a little bit extra more colour and it will kind of hide the happy accident. I definitely recommend these squidgy containers though, to put your reducer in, because you can really angle it at the artwork, at the art, at the colour, and it will really give it a bit of squidge. Right, so now I can put some chrome on that purple to make that purple lift. So actually, let's get one that's got some paint in it. Was I going to send you a link to it? Sorry. Remind me later and I'll do that. They're just off of Amazon. The root of all evil. Right, chrome. Lightly build it up. Hold your breath, this stuff stinks. I don't know, Aaron. I'm not entirely sure where they came from. Remind me on Thursday when I'm back at work in front of my work computer, and I'll try and find you the link to where they were from. But they're just these orange topped squidgy bottles. And they do them in, I think, 3 different sizes. They work well enough. Right, now I've got to work out, I've got to do some black. I've got to work out what colour I'm going to do after the, because obviously the leopard print's going to have a lot of colour going on. To working with so many different guns, the needle pressure is different on each of them. This Infinity needs a lot more PSI to punch it along. That's because it's a smaller needle, isn't it? And yes, I'm using a lot of colours, but I'm using such a small amount of it, it shouldn't actually be that heavy once this is finished. And it is a lightweight DBX anyway. For argument's sake, I actually have, because what I did is I've been a bit smart this time. I actually spent 2 meetings using a DBX cutout that I just rattle canned. I wanted to see if I got the shell in the right place. And after a bit I realised, oh, this will do. So then I've now done a proper body shell, painted to those and cut to those hole sizes. I'm not normally that smart. Now, so back in the chrome with black makes the chrome pop more, and that makes the other colours pop more. So you get this, you'll see later. Because I had the rattle cans, and I literally went done. I actually used it for 3 meetings. I smashed the granny out of it. I find that rattle can paint makes the shell what's the word? Fragile. I think that airbrush paint's a lot softer and much kinder to the shell. I think rattle can actually makes the shell way more fragile, and all I did is I went off track. Okay, I went off track, and where it's been warm, the grass has dropped a little bit, and so when I went to come back on, I just smacked the stone where the curb is, and it just smashed the shell to pieces across the front. It's literally, you can see the shape, the scratch marks all the way across, and then where it actually ripped through. But I've not done that to a body shell ever with brittle. That's the right word, brittle. I think rattle cans make the shells brittle. I've not done that to a shell in donkey's years. I mean, I've had some really abused airbrush shells, and they've lasted donkey's years. They haven't gone smack on the first meeting. I think that, especially because it's a 0.5 as well, and I think the airbrush rattle can does make the 0.5s way more brittle. Thank you, Duncan. I've completely lost my train of thought then, of words. Whereas the airbrush paint, it seems to be a bit more harmonious with the Lexan and doesn't make it brittle. Scott, don't tie yourself down to one colour scheme. Do tons, do all of them, like I do. I don't have a particular design. I go, woo, shiny, and then I just put some colours with it. I feel very envious of somebody that's got like a set design. I must have blue, I must have yellow, I must have red. I'm like, I want everything now, and I can never make my mind up. It'd be quite handy to be an F1 driver now, because you can have a different colour scheme each meeting for a crash helmet. Otherwise, like, oh, you've got to have a set colours for the rest of the season. Like, ooh, that's a tough one. What do I have? I wouldn't know what to do. So we're going to have a white front, so that's white, so that stops there, that stops there, so that bit there is going to be white to that point, it comes down to there, and then it comes around to this bit here. I'm thinking about doing that pin there in white, and then this bit leopard, and what do I do this bit here? And that bit. Sometimes it's easier to see from the inside. So that's going to be white. Oh, and also RIP to the little bugs, because I sprayed up the liquid mask, like 2 coats, and I threw the shell in the garden in the sun and went and played Monopoly with my kids. Came back out and there was about 20 dead little insects stuck to the inside of the liquid mask, and I was like, well, I can't save them, so I just sprayed another coat over the top. So there are some bugs in here somewhere, and some grass. There's some grass around the front edge here because it got blew over by the breeze onto the lawn. So liquid mask is pretty tough. Don't worry about getting bits of dirt and stuff in it. Really doesn't matter. So let's be a bit more scientific. So white, 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 white. So if I say L for leopard, and that can be white, and that can be white, that then there is white, and then that's going to have a chrome pin round it. That can be leopard, and that can be leopard. Really shouldn't do that, my wrist still hurts. Leopard. What does that? Yeah, because that's white. That's going to come up to there like that, so that's leopard. Then that can be leopard. This will make more sense when I pull out the mask. Duncan, I'm using whatever I've got on my table, so yeah, mixture of everything. It's basically what I've bought over the years. Am I going to do that one white, or am I going to do that bollocks leopard? That can be white. Hang on. The leopard print's going to come up around there, into this. That's leopard. That's white. That's leopard. So I need a colour for this section here on the bonnet, and it comes up to there as well. So I need to think of a colour for here and here. Otherwise I'm sorted, I think. Right, so he says about living dangerously. I really should put my glasses on. That's leopard. That one there is leopard. And when I say leopard, I mean like technicolored. Where's my controller? I'll show you my controller. Anyone that's seen me recently on my videos over lockdown will know that I've been a little bit nuts, and I did that to my handset. It's actually stayed on remarkably well actually, and I did my eye charger as well, which has rendered it completely worthless. Oh, and this as well, because this was like a £400 handset. I mean, it won't get stolen now, it's about the only bonus I can say. I need to have that handy so I can see the colours, because there's all of them. Pull the other side off as well. There's like a Skittles leopard print I'm going to do on it now, which is probably a little bit over the top. I think Sparkle Pink might get lost because there's so many different colours going on in this. Where, already picked out the wrong section because I didn't see the colour. This is why I reckon crash helmet painting will be easy, because I'm so used to spending hours and hours with tape anyway. So that's kind of a pin. Just message my page, Duncan. Just message Basil, private message. Why does that look daft? No, because that won't make sense if I do. Sorry, I'm having an argument with myself. It's the problem also with trying to work out colours after I've sprayed everything black, because you can't really see it. So it's completely my fault. But it's also trying not to be too thick now with the craft knife to cut through the tape to remove it. A 1 second boo-boo costs you 5–10 minutes, because you then have to rectify it. But it wouldn't be me if I didn't have a boo-boo. So that's their footprint. Thankfully it's not a big mistake. Now that's it, sorted now. Don't do that again, George. Sorry, Basil. Can't call myself my real name. Right, so that goes up into here. It goes up the windscreen. Down into that section, and in that section, and stops there. I'm going to make this complicated for myself. Right, so that's one side done. Right, so go up the windscreen now. That actually wasn't too bad music. Deep progressive house. What else have we got? I'll just get a message from Facebook blocking me for music again, probably. I can't sit in silence, I've tried it. Well, I tried it with headphones, to be fair. Oh my god, is that them? No, it's not, it's cool. Duncan, I'll reply to you later, alright? Oh, crap. So that bit there is going to be a liquid mask as well. So this side takes me a bit longer, the other side will be easy because I've now made my boo-boos and I kind of know what I've got to do to fix it. So it's handy to have like 2 different size tapes at all times near you for when you make boo-boos like I just did. But it means I haven't got to spend as much time trimming and cutting. I can just stick it down and move on. Look at that, first go, bosh, it's done. Right, try and learn something now, not do that again. So that's white, so that's leopard. So then that there is leopard. And this one up here. I suppose I could do that bit there, leopard as well. It's going to look odd if I try and do it a block colour afterwards. It's not until you sort of, I mean normally I have a much better idea of what I'm doing. I'm not winging it like this. But it's mine, so it doesn't matter. Right, so that's white. That bit there's leopard as well, isn't it? I'm trying to get an idea how technical this is. There's so many different bits. So you can see where I made my boo-boo and I pulled the wrong bit out and I was like, oh, should I just change it? And I thought, no, it won't look right. So I had to sort of make do my boo-boo. So this is all going to be rainbow leopard print. It won't take as long as you fear, don't worry. It'll look bad though, I promise. Bad, not in a good way either, bad as in bad. So now I need see this is a good old trusty bit of leopard print that I've got. It's gone through my printer cutter. And all I do is I go, well I might as well just do that bit there because it kind of matches the rest of it. And then I hopefully peel that out and the bits stay in, which they never do. So then it's a case of weeding out all the bits. And it'll be super tacky for the first 5 or 6 stick downs. And then it'll start to lose its tack, so you've got to be careful to not get blasé with it. And I've actually gone, this is quite a technical leopard print, if there is such a thing. It's small. So in this case, just placing it down. Always try and leave a corner so you can pick it back up again. I mean, I've got tweezers, so it's not the end of the world. Try and angle away from the bits that haven't got any mask on. So in theory that should now pull up without pulling up anything else, and just leave the leopard print. And then it's a case of repeating it over the shell about 1,000 times. And obviously it's the same pattern, so if you move it, twist it around a bit so it doesn't actually match. So I'm assuming that none of you have got OCD if you're doing leopard print. So that's just pulled an errant bit of mask up, which is fine because it isn't a really important bit. I'll just double cut the cutter, the pinstripe. This is definitely the most technical I've gone with my leopard print. As in on a fully fledged design. I normally just lash it down on one of my sort of simpler designs. So the mask is starting to get a bit less tacky now. I mean, the design's going to be tacky, obviously. The beauty is where it's a small section of it, it can bend round the curves. When I first started doing this, I'd spend hours cutting this all out, sticking it down, just to spray one go and then rip it all up and throw it away. And then I realised after a while, I said, why don't I just do it in little sections and I can throw it away when it's knackered. And then I haven't got to spend 3 hours masking the thing up. One time I think I did it all in liquid mask and then cut out all the leopard print myself. I mean, it looked horrific, but it could have been so much more time consuming, if easier to do if I'd done it like this. That's now on a curve, so I can't get that back up. It's the only flat bit of the whole bloody shell. Right, so now that's got a little bit of overspray. So tissue. And try and blend that in. The bonus is I haven't got a whole shell to do like I normally used to. So I'm actually moving along quite quickly. I'm still not happy with that roof bit. I joined two bits up and I didn't like the shading it had between them. So that's all done with that. Oh, the lag resisting farting, Aaron, that's you just trying to cover it with the compressor. I'm actually going to leave the door pillars clean, if that makes sense. So now it's a case of building up the colour, which is the leery bit. Where's my handset? So I'll hold it that way. So we're going to start with a should we go pink? All the way round, do you reckon? Should I have the pink at the front or should I have the yellow at the front? The handset's going that way, so it's yellow, isn't it? Oh, I'm going to do it yellow. Right. So now it's just a case of, I've got four colours, yellow, red, orange, yellow, orange, red, pink. So it's a case of building up 3 lines of colour. Turn that PSA right down. I'm also going to do, as I said earlier, the B for the grille in the yellow as well, and the little stars in the windscreen, in the headlights. Right, so now it's orange. dare you not to try and not to want a packet of Skittles after watching this. Taste the rainbow. And my idea for this was, you know, when we were in lockdown and all the kids were doing, well, my kids have done rainbows on their bedroom windows. So I just thought, well, I'll just start doing I'll do a controller in rainbow, well, very bright colours. And it's kind of stuck. I mean, it won't come off anyway, it's stuck. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like, that's it. But that was the idea, and I haven't changed from it yet. It's red. And pink. Oh, brand new one. And that's it. We don't want to build up too much. Look at that. Woo. Nuts. Yeah. Okay. It's making me question it, so it's got to be right, isn't it? I want someone to go, why? Oh, I've got a little bit of figuring out to do on this last section on the front. Could do some hex pattern on it actually. The basil has appeared. The basil has appeared. This will brighten up massively now with a bit of white. I'm not putting it. You're going to put zebra. Nice. It's a bit showy though, isn't it? Got to be able to back it up with sort of a bright show like that. Bonus I have is with a show like this, everyone just avoids me. There's a lot going on the front of this now. No, not just a barrier it's going to hit. Boom. I just didn't know what colour to put in that bit there. I don't really think that's really worked, but it let me think more next time about what to put in there. It's not actually looking as leery as I hoped. Oh, well, the pinstripe will change it a little bit when I put the chrome on. So that's the next job. And then we're done. And that's taken, so far, that has taken, what did I do? I masked up the shell at 4 o'clock. The first coat of mask at 4. Then I've masked up the second coat, I've drawn it, I've cut it out, and then I've painted it, and it's 8 hours. Six hours, start to finish. Best bit is I get to take the overspray off. Woo! So we're going around the window frames as well with chrome. I was quite pleased because I managed to follow the DBX has got DBX has got a chromed, it's got a curved window frame in a sill, and I managed to copy it with my knife, so I'm quite pleased with that. I could put window tint in this as well, I suppose, because it's not a BRCA meeting. What colour window tints shall I use? There's a question. There's already enough colours going on in this. Having never really window tinted before, I don't know what colour to do. Hi Nick! Sorry, good day. See, I've watched Neighbours. I know how to say hello to an Australian. Blue windows, okay. So easily led then. Alright, okay, that'll do. Why blue? What colour blue? That's good to know. I haven't actually played any tonight, Scott. I didn't want to get in trouble with the Facebook police. But some of his lockdown sets have been really quite good. He did a chill out mix on Radio 1 on Sunday evening, if you can find that. If you find the BBC radio iPlayer thingy, and then try and find it's BBC Sounds. Find the BBC Sounds app and find Radio 1, and then they did a dance weekend, and Fatboy did a set on Sunday night that was chill out music. And I've never heard him do chill out stuff. It was really good. Of Norman. Right, so now we've got Mirachrome. This is where I start to concentrate now. That sounds perfect. Where is it? Going blind. It does a set also. You find. I can't do this longer with my mask off. There's a YouTube page or thing called Circle. They're French. And they go all around the world doing dance sets in really odd places, really cool places. And one of the sets they do Fatboy Slim and up the Brighton Pier or Brighton Needle. That's a good set. So find Circle and Fatboy Slim and find that. I haven't seen the news yet. Yes, indeedy. Sore throat time. So what's blown up? drone's lifted it massively. You can't see yet, but we'll see in a bit. That's made a huge difference. Wow. Right, there we are, done. Well, apart from the windows. Really? Wow. Why would there be so much of that stuff stored in one spot? Well, if someone's still alive, they've got to answer to something then, haven't they? The others. Right, so we're going to do blue windows. I'm trying to think of a colour to argue against with, but I can't think of anything. I'm trying to think what to do now. Might be easier not to do anything because I can't. Nothing's really grabbing me by the particulars here. That's what I can't figure out what to do. I think I might leave it as well because nothing's really grabbing me. I'm just going to ruin it. No, I don't think it does either. Cool. Well, you took me out of it. Cool. Dun dun dun. Overspray off. Woo. I'm not keen on this front hex thing. I'll have to think of something else for next time. I'm quite pleased with that. Careful, someone else's paint name is Tits. Thank you. Yeah, the design's nice, the colours are shit, but the design's really cool. I could redo that in so many better colours combos, but I had to do it on my own. Oh, you won't miss that going round. I'm liking the way the pink goes into this blue purple bit at the back. That's quite nice. You can cut yourself on these pinstripes. Ooh, sharp. Sharpens the fridge. So, right, I'm going to go take some photos of it and then I'm going to go to bed. I'm not entirely sure the headlight stars work with colour in them. I think they look better a bit understated and not coloured. But that's why I'd practice on me rather than somebody else. Because now I can stare at them and go, well, they look shit. For the next, till I smash the crap out of it. Then I can paint another one. So, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate all the nice comments I've had tonight and keep me company while I take my mask off now. I appreciate all the company and everyone keeping me company while I've been rabbiting on and generally making a half decent design look hideous. No one's going to copy that. Anyway, so thank you very much for watching. I might have some more paint by the end of the week, but I don't think I'll do another stream. Not this week anyway. So thank you very much for watching, and good afternoon, good evening, good night, good morning.